Christmas, everybody! Alright, I know I just lost about half the people that clicked through on this video with that, but that's okay because the real ones stayed behind. Hello everybody, happy Monday. My name is Infiniti. I almost said good morning. It's afternoon now, but it's okay. My name is Infiniti and I'm the face, the voice, and the hands behind the content here under Infiniti Crafting Co. and behind the website InfinitiCraftingCompany.com. I am here with an update. A very quick, brief update. In the last channel chat, in case you missed it, I announced that I was doing a shop update for the month of November. This is a storied tradition. Even back when I was on Etsy, I would run a month-long sale for the month of November in celebration of my birthday, which happens to coincide with holiday shopping. So that's always fun. I'm trying to figure out how to market that. But anyway, as the years have gone by, I have kind of narrowed it down into the only sale that I host during the year. It's just less of a hassle for me, and the easier I can make my life, the better, honestly. So, getting my website pulled up here. My laptop is like, why, master? Why have you done this thing to me? And I just turned it on. So, it needs to go to the repair shop soon. But anyway, so, this shop update, actually it's a little smaller than I expected it to be, but the best things come in small packages. So, what in this shop update? I will tell you. So, last year I had probably close to 150 items come out of the kilns. It was crazy. It was wild. I think I posted the picture of the trunk of my car. I could not see out my back window. I don't know how I got all that crap home or loaded into my little car. But anywho, long story short, I had a lot of items, and the thing that's taken the longest was basically sorting through it, figuring out what exactly needs to go into the shop and when, and taking all the photographs. All the photographs. Anyway, so I keep going through these things in batches as I, as the, spirit hits me, we'll say. So I still have a few or a couple. I have a couple of crates over there that are still loaded up with things that I have not taken account of in a while. I did just unload one of the bags the other day while I was trying to debate whether or not I was going to work that day on this. And I didn't, but I unloaded the bag, so that was the first step in that. And I found several pieces that I'm just kind of looking at right now that I will eventually take pictures of and get onto the website. I would hope at some point before the end of the year, but I am not really counting on that timeline at all. So just, slide over to the website, sign up for the newsletter, because a lot of times I'll post blog posts when I have new stock in the Handmade Shop, which is the name of my store. Not only that, you get first notice on stuff, because sometimes I will post these sales a little bit earlier than when they officially start, and so it's always fun to have first dibs on whatever's going live. I did that this year as well, so there we go. So what's in this shop update? Pottery. I got beading. Long story short, last year I got into beading because it was kind of easier for me to do while doing other things. So it was a lot easier to continue crafting. I was itching to craft, but I didn't quite have the capacity to crochet or knit as much as I wanted to last year. So beading came up, and this is actually where I got my eyeglass chains from. I made these. My favorite pair to date. I have made several pairs. This is my favorite, and I do have one singular set on my website because I've had people to ask me to make them sets before, and they seem to be very popular. But basically, they are sun catchers in the natural Lord's light. So I like sparkly things, as I said in a previous video, and this is one of the ways that I achieve that. I have a few other pairs in the shop that have different shapes of beads, but they have the same glittery effect. I think one of the sets is hearts, so you can check that out. I also really went in on my merch designs, which is what delayed me so much in putting up the blog post and announcing, because things have changed since the last time I've been in that dashboard. I handle my merch through a separate seller, but it's integrated into my website. So listing things takes longer, and I was like up to my eyeballs in releasing all these designs, because I think the last time that I was actually in Illustrator putting stuff together for the merch shop was late May or early June of 2023. A lot was going on in 2023 as well, because I like released my crochet course and all that at the end of the year. So the merch designs took a backseat to other things, as is the story on this channel. But I was able to update a couple of those designs. So one of those designs that I updated was my Rip It Back tumbler. So, and yes, I do get samples, but this is like one of my favorite cutesy designs, and usually when I put it on a cup, I will put it on the front and the back of the cup. So whichever hand that you use, that's your dominant hand, you can still enjoy the design being front facing. So there's that. But I updated that just a little bit, just a minor little tweak. I made it bigger on the items, so it takes up more space on there for you guys that like a more pronounced design. I also made the little anger mark red, because I thought it was better, because usually like in anime it's red, because red is a very moody color. But anyway, so those are the little tweaks that I did to that. Nothing grandiose. And then I updated the design that says crochet your own things, because I won't do it for you, and I just made that bottom lettering closer to the arc of the design and made it bigger. So I'm trying to decide if that's one of the items that I'm going to order for myself, because I quite like the snark behind it and I think it's very relevant. But we'll see, because there's so many good things that I have out there, and there's also a couple of designs that I am still, like, I have partially uploaded into the thing. I just haven't published them yet, because I'm going through and writing all these descriptions and this and that. But you guys don't care about all that behind the curtain kind of stuff. It's out there, so I'm very excited to show these things off for you guys to share them. I also kind of brought some of the other items that I secretly posted last year and early this year, brought them closer to the top so they can be found. But yeah, I really went in and tried to kind of organize this time, because I think the last mass shop update I did was really for the merch stuff, and it just looks like a whole block wall of merch stuff, which is fine, kind of, but I think aesthetically it looks better when it's kind of alternated through there. So if you're wanting to check out the handmade shop, I will leave the link to the blog post in the description box below, because most of the items that I've uploaded over the weekend are present in previews in the blog. But I will also leave the link to the handmade shop down there in case you just want to dive in. The promo code to this particular sale is BDay28. Like I said, this is a 30-day sale, and I apologize that this video didn't come out on the 1st, but you've got all the way till November 30th to shop this 25% off sale, and then free shipping is offered on orders of 125 plus. So that is there. I only ship domestically, so for my US besties, I can ship to you guys. I don't do international shipping. It's just above my pay grade, honestly, which is wild because I write the paycheck. But anyway, it's above my wheelhouse. I've always been intimidated by international shipping, and so I just don't do it. I'm sorry. So yeah, if you want to support my handmade business, then that is the best way to do it this month. Share this video, share that blog post. I would really love that. Or if you just see a particular item that you really like, share it on whatever social media that you use, because the more eyeballs, the better. Brand awareness. I don't know. Anyway. And to the point of patterns, I haven't formatted Jack Diddley, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's a lot, and I am still taking these things day by day, and I decided not to overwhelm myself by trying to rush and put pattern PDFs together, because I really like to take the time and double triple check through everything and make sure I have plenty of pictures, and if I'm going to do a video, I want to make sure that it looks good before I put it into the pattern, before I put it out to the public. So I think you guys will appreciate the quality over the quantity of things that are present at the moment. But as I continue to do Infiniti Crafting Co. and make certain determinations about the future of it, then I think you guys will also enjoy those things that will blossom from that as well. And so with that, I just ask for a little grace. And speaking of grace, I want to leave you guys with a psalm, okay? Because I was in the Psalms this morning, right? And I kept thinking back to the one that talks about the cornerstone that was rejected. And that would be Psalm 118:22. And it says that the stone which the builders refuse is become the headstone of the corner, right? And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I know that it certainly builds me up when I read it, because to me, it applies to that feeling of unworthiness, or that feeling of perhaps imposter syndrome, or that feeling of being the outcast of things. And it's okay to be outside of the normal, or, you know, outside of what the world would consider to be useful or worthy, or whatever the world accepts, right? Because we are, as Christians, we are commanded to be set apart in the body of Christ. And so just because the world casts you aside does not mean that God cannot use you, or that God will not bless you. And so just because the world discards you does not mean that God won't use you to build up something else. So even if you drop the ball, or you feel like you flubbed your words, or you've been tongue-tied, as I have been this entire video, there is still a point to you. There is still a message or a story that you can tell that will edify somebody else. And so just know that, be joyful in that. But okay, I am going to hop off of here, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. I will see you all in a few weeks, probably. All right, guys, happy making. I just lost all of my viewers in the first 3 seconds of this video.